Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. It's been a little bit, but today I'm talking about a project that I'm launching for myself, and it's called the Shakespeare Project. Stay tuned. Recently, I finished doing a Shakespeare class. It was my graduate level class for Shakespeare. And I found that class very interesting, and so I figured, well, what better way to get more engaged with Shakespeare than by reading his complete works, which, as I mentioned in my October reading video, I have the complete works right here. This is the Penguin edition. It's called a Pelican, but it's a subsidiary Penguin. Anyway, this is a fantastic edition of Shakespeare. As you can see, the font size is quite readable. It is in chronological order, meaning it's in order of what the plays were released. And I'm looking forward to really getting into Shakespeare a bit more. I took a Shakespeare class during my undergrad, and it was quite enlightening. And my professor, Dr. Candido, was a phenomenal professor. I mean, if I could recommend anybody to take Shakespeare with one person, it would be him. You can certainly see the passion and the love that he has for the bard, but also, I mean, he'd be reading a play like Richard II, which was his favorite play, and he'd shut the book and he'd just recite it from memory. And I was just blown away from that. Now, what makes this a bit of a project isn't necessarily just reading the books in chronological order or the plays in chronological order, but also I'll be reading Harold Bloom's Shakespeare, the Invention of the Human. Now, I've read a little bit of Bloom before. I've read some of his criticism, mainly How to Read and Why. That's the big book that I've read by Bloom. I'm currently making my way through his Best English Poems anthology, but this book is structured in chronological order for Shakespeare, and it just seems like an appropriate supplementary reading material for the bard. And so I figured, why not just make a bit of a project for myself where I read Shakespeare, read a chapter, or read whatever play that I'm reading here, and then go from there and write an essay or something reflective, and just kind of engage more with the text, be more interactive with Shakespeare, because as I've mentioned before, I think literature is a conversation, and conversing with both Bloom, who had a deep reverence for Shakespeare, and also engaging with the bard makes sense. And without further ado on that part, I will be writing my reflections and everything on Substack. I will leave the link to my Substack down below and also in the pinned comment. I decided to start a Substack page because it just seems more interactive, and also, there's some couple of projects I'm really wanting to launch, and I think that those will be very exciting. I'm excited to announce those. I'm also happy to announce that I am starting a podcast, and that will also be in the link down below. The first episode should be out very soon. Been working on the script. The first podcast I ran, I didn't really have a script. I just ad-libbed everything, and that kind of gave me mixed results. And so I figured, well, I want to start off with a fresh plate, and decided to do that. So with the Shakespeare Project, if you'd like to join me, be sure to get a copy of the complete works of Shakespeare or individual volumes of Shakespeare, as well as a copy of Harold Bloom's Shakespeare, the Invention of the Human. Be sure to write down what you think about the plays, grade them, rate them out of 100 or 5 stars, however you feel comfortable with. I personally like rating things out of 100, simply because it seems more fair rather than 5 stars. 5 stars, you could say something's 3.5 and it's like, what does that really mean? But if you say something's like a 70 out of 100, that makes a bit more sense, but that's just how my brain works. This is a bit of a shorter video. It's just kind of announcing what I'm going to be doing. And, if you want to get involved in that, be sure to let me know. The next video is going to be about William Faulkner and just some other things like that. So thank you for tuning in.